Well, the new album is the Katie Melua Collection, and it's been 3 albums, 2003, 5, and 7. You earlier on in the interview were saying that with Eva Cassidy, you knew it's all about subtlety. If you listen to your own albums now, and what did you learn maybe over these 3 albums while picking the songs for this collection?
I mean, there's so much stuff that I learned. It depends on which aspect you're talking about. If you're talking about as a performer, as a singer, as a writer,
singer-songwriter,
as someone,
maybe.
as a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Okay. I learned that I was actually a pretty bad writer, and I learned that as a singer, I think I was better as a singer than a writer, perhaps.
How did you find out when you listened to?
Well, it was when I used to write then, over the last 3 albums, I used to, my focus was always on the sort of end song, and it wasn't about the process of writing. And I've come to realise that, you know, I think to be a good writer, you have to, like, you can't really do anything else in life. You know, that has to sort of be your sort of 24-hour, 7 days a week, every day of the year living. And the purpose of it is actually to find yourself. I know that sounds a bit, you know, hippy-dippy, but it's to document yourself as a human being, I think. And whereas before I wanted to just write good songs that connected with everyone, and you can't do that, you know, that's impossible to do that, and you can't chase after hits because, again, that's utterly impossible. You can have stunning, incredible songs that are the best songs ever written, but they might not be hits because the market's not right, or it doesn't connect with the sort of the public's imagination at that point in time, because, I don't know, maybe they're going through a recession and you've written a song about, you know, having a happy life or something like that. So, and so you can't chase after things that are just impossible to get. So ultimately, the only thing you can do is to, I think, document your own feelings and emotions, and trying to figure out, you know, what's going on inside you.
Do you know when the turning point was for this?
Actually, it was this year, and it was from discovering a poet called Alice Notley, who is an American poet who is just incredible. And she, there's a book of hers that I read called, a poetry book of hers called, excuse me, A Mystery of Small Houses. And she's utterly dismantled herself. And by reading her sort of exploration and her dismantling of herself, I kind of felt a bit drained from it myself, and there was just many things in it that I associated with, and she sort of dismantles the reader as well as herself in this book.
Is there one poem that you still recall? You say, well, that's one.
Oh God, no. The whole book. To be honest, the whole book is a journey, and there's different linear stories in it. So it's not like, it's not traditional at all. There's no particular rhyming schemes, but I'd highly recommend it if you're into poetry.
What is the thing that you learned about yourself then? Is there one thing that you can share with us and that you say, well,
it's what I said before, the fact that you can't, you know, when you're writing, you can't focus on the end product. You know, it's about the journey that you take, and it's about, you know, the process of writing, and, you know, and the purpose of it shouldn't be to, well, listen, I think ultimately all of it is personal. Writing is personal. That's just, to me, what I felt was an important lesson to learn. I'm sure there are other writers who can come up with immaculate pieces of work by concentrating on the goal, you know, and I realise I don't actually want to concentrate on the goal.
So are you then, I think then you're more of a John Lennon writer than maybe than a Paul McCartney writer?
Why? Is that how they
No, because
did
John Lennon, I think he, in 66 or 67, he decided to write from the heart more, and he's just always writing about his own personal stuff.
Perhaps,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that Paul McCartney was different. I mean, to be honest,
A
I
little
don't
bit
know.
different,
It's, you know what, writing is so personal. I don't think anyone will ever tell you the secret of how they do it. You know, I'm just sort of trying to give a glimpse of a little lesson that I learned this year. You know, and there's other things also.